Hi, I'm Rebecca.
And my name is Wayne.
And we are Your Bourbon Journey.
Today, we're going ahead and trying something that we picked up several weeks ago when my wife went to a Bourbon Women event. After the event was over, we kind of wandered out into Louisville and on the main boulevard, and we went to this great place called Buzzard's Roost. They were selling two different bottles that day that were commemorating their 5th anniversary, a 7-year-old and an 11-year-old. We tried them both. We loved them both. We bought them both. So today we are going to go and taste the 11-year-old.
It's been a while since that hot day in August that we were doing that.
It was hot.
And it was really cool because this is also signed by Jason Bronner, owner. He also owns Bourbon's Bistro, which is a fabulous restaurant in Louisville.
Really good stuff.
You must check it out. But we found out, we got a tip that this is going to be happening from the Owensboro Bourbon Society because he came to speak and he said, oh, by the way, if you happen to be in Louisville on Saturday, we'll be releasing these. And we happen to be in Louisville on Saturday. So we took advantage of it.
We happened to be, and then we happened over there and we happened to buy it. We happen to like it. So now we're going to happen to try it.
So we sipped on it previously, but it's been a while. So we're going to retaste it with you today and see what you think and see what we think.
Okay, well, here we go.
And let us know, put in the notes if you've tried this and if you like it or what you think. Now, color-wise, it's a really pretty, almost dark mahogany. It's just a lovely color.
Wouldn't call it a copper, but yeah, it's like it reminds me of really old antique mahogany wood. Really rich.
And
really
I don't think we mentioned before that these are double oaked because these were acquired at some point when Judy and Jason first acquired and decided to start Buzzard's Roost. So then they double oaked these for an additional period of time after it had been aging. So that explains probably part of the age and part of the color. So let's take a sniff. It's just.
Oh, I get caramel. There's smokiness in there.
I'm getting like a brown sugar cinnamon toast vibe, which is yummy.
Oh, it's very good.
And a little bit of cherry. Are you getting like a dark cherry in here?
No. But that's okay. Sometimes that's the thing. When you're doing a tasting like this, it's subjective. You might find cherry. The other person might find vanilla. And you might not find vanilla and vice versa. It's whatever you find. It's part of your palate.
And we often find different fruits. Like he might find cherry one day and I may find dates, right? So we just never know what it's going to be. But today I'm getting cherry as well as sweet oak notes. You can tell it's been in a barrel for a long time. Let's go ahead and taste this.
Let's taste it. Let's hope we don't cough.
Oh, it's rich.
Smoky. I'm getting some vanilla.
I'm getting toffee.
If you're somebody that really likes a smoky bourbon that isn't overly smoky, this is it. This is really, really good. I get a little bit also of maybe like a white pepper in the back. It's very good.
Tasting it neat. I'm getting toffee. That cherry is coming through from the nose. Still getting some less of the cinnamon here, but there's still that kind of brown sugar cinnamon thing happening. And then there's something else I'm picking up. It's like a dark chocolate cherry thing coming through. That's a really dark chocolate, like a baker's chocolate. Really good. And I know you already talked about the finish a little bit, but yeah, it's got a nice long finish, medium to long. I can still feel it. How about you?
I do too. Very nice. It's a Kentucky hug, but it's not a Kentucky chokehold.
And for me, I'm getting sweet oak notes more than smokiness, but Wayne's getting the smokiness more. So again, it's your palate and what you're sensitive to. But I'm getting like this, especially on the finish, it's very sweet oak. I agree. You said white pepper, I think,
yes.
Right? And I'm also in the very back end, some black pepper is at the very end of it. But so it's nice to get that kind of combo pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Should
that
we,
was terrific.
should we try it with the raisin or
The
I should say?
Dried cranberry. And we do that because we learned this from Michael Veach. And so we do it with 3-part tasting to see how it might pair with things, what the bourbon interacts with, how it changes your taste profile. And the dried cranberry is very sweet. So sometimes that can bring those extra sugars can alter how the bourbon interacts in your mouth. So we're going to do dried cranberry here. That made an orange zest pop for me. It's got this zestiness to it now. It's because it was dark and rich. It still has some more of those notes, but I felt like it just brightened up drastically.
For me, it's orange zest straight through. The white pepper finish is gone. It's basically this whole tasting has been an orange zest. Mm-hmm. Not bad though. Definitely different.
I mean, it can take what I would call this is because it's the dark and kind of deep notes of this bourbon, which is fantastic. We would lend ourselves to think this is more of our winter or fall bourbon because it's not like a patio drink, right, when it's hot in the summer. But if you put it with something bright like a cranberry salad or cranberry on a salad, it's going to brighten it right up, and you could probably drink it in the summertime.
Shall we move on to
cleanse a little bit?
Shall we move on to the pecan then?
The pecan kind of mimics, it's got those nutty notes. Can also sometimes bring out the tannins that maybe come from the barrel. So it's kind of interesting to see what a pecan does with it.
Well, it gave me dark chocolate, and the wood is back, not as much as neat, but I'm getting dark chocolate, which is another tendency that pecan will have, is it will bring out chocolate in the bourbon and or whiskey.
100% on par with that. I feel like I'm getting that cinnamon toast vibe back a little bit too, because I've got some cinnamon now. It's kind of a breadiness that's and I think whereas you had the smokiness earlier, I'm getting this almost overdone toast kind of thing, and that is not a negative in my book. It's tasting yummy. I'm going to have another little sip while I still have some pecan in my mouth. Yeah, that's terrific. It pairs well with that.
Oh, yeah.
What we found in the past with other bourbon tastings we've done, things that pair really well with a pecan are often great with a steak dinner for some reason. It's just terrific. Just a thought there.
Yeah. Let me unwrap this. And we use these little Hershey Kisses.
Dark chocolate.
Yeah.
Less sugar. I'm getting, of course, you have the chocolate in your mouth, so you're getting some creaminess of that dark cocoa. And again, it's very luscious in your mouth. It's creamy. But I'm finding it like a lot of hotter cinnamon.
I'm getting cinnamon, and it's cinnamon straight through, all the way to the back. It's not quite as Kentucky huggish in the back, but it's cinnamon. It's good.
It's quite good. Now, if I had to, and we often like to do the dark chocolate. Would this be good with a dessert? Right? Would it taste good with if you're doing a bourbon pairing meal? Might it taste good with your chocolate dessert? this one would probably be okay. It's
I
gonna,
think,
as long as you don't have people at your dinner party that are afraid of spicy cinnamon.
yeah.
So you think about that with your guests. But which one did you like the best?
I'm always partial to having it neat. Of the three, I really like the pecan the most. It brought out like a dark, like a baking chocolate, which it's not something that I would have thought when I first started drinking bourbon that I would find. I would just saw bourbon that's alcohol and it's brown. I didn't realize until I got into it and started drinking this more and trying it, how much complexity that there is. I do prefer it neat. I think it's excellent.
Yeah, neat. This terrific 11-year-old bottle is really meant to be drank neat, in my opinion. But some people like to do other things with it, or to find out how you might pair it if you were having some friends over and you want to ensure they have some food while they're drinking some fine bourbon. Certainly, that pecan was fantastic with it. Could go with a dessert if you were putting out some desserts at the end of the night, but this is a great bourbon.
It definitely is. And we encourage you, if you haven't found it, to go ahead and really try to contact maybe Buzzard's Roost or look around.
And if in Louisville, stop by their tasting room, which is just lovely. And they have a fantastic bar. If you enjoy a cocktail, they do make some of the best cocktails on the Louisville Main Street there.
Definitely. In my opinion, I believe it's a very underrated place, and it's a must go to if you're in Louisville. So cheers to Buzzard's Roost. Cheers to all of you out there. Thank you for joining us, and hope to drink with you again very soon.